Hey everyone, I'm back, and today we're going to be talking about Shaun of the Dead. And this movie came out in 2004, and it's directed by Edgar Wright. And I enjoyed this movie more than I did the first time I watched it, and this is the second time I've seen it. And the first time I watched it, I didn't really care for it all that much. I thought it was decent, and I found the characters to be really annoying, and I just really hated a lot of what was going on, and I just couldn't stand like I said, the characters, and that really dragged down my experience. But rewatching it, I enjoyed it much more, and I got more out of it. And knowing that it's a parody of zombie movies and like tropes that go along with that, I enjoyed it a lot more this time. And there are moments where it's supposed to be taken seriously, and I thought those moments worked quite a bit, and the comedy also worked for me quite a bit, and that really helped out my experience. But I'm still not a fan of the first 20-30 minutes of the movie, because I'm like, nothing's happened yet. This is just taking way too long for it to get started for me. And sure, it has a purpose as to why it's taking as long as it is, but I do feel as though when it pays off, it really works, but it does take a while for my own personal investment to get going. And also another thing, from memory, this might not happen when I review all three of these movies, but out of the three, Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and The World's End, from memory, Shaun of the Dead was the one I was invested in the least. And that could change upon watching the other two, but for now, this is my least favorite. And even though I liked it more this time, it was kind of like, oh, this is better, but I just remember enjoying the other two a lot more than this one. And another issue that I have with this movie is that I don't really care for the romance in this movie all that much. I felt as though if you removed it, then you wouldn't lose much. And I get it as to why it's in the movie, and it does serve as a purpose for the main character, Shaun, and him, like, stop being, like, pathetic and weak and actually be his own man and take control of everything and his life. And there's a lot that comes with that, and I like that about the movie. But at the same time, it didn't always work for me, and I found it to be a bit irritating. But it did grow on me, I'll say that much, but for a while I just didn't understand why they liked each other at all. But those are about all of my negatives. Now I'm going to talk about the things that I did like about the movie, and I really loved the performances in this movie. Simon Pegg, Nick Frost, I think they're hilarious in this movie, and there's tons of visual gags in the movie, and I love the presentation, like, visually of this movie, and the soundtrack is great, and the music choices, they work really well in, like, some of these action scenes, and it's a lot of fun, and the action is also fun, and this movie does have a great understanding of what it is, and just goes with it, and that's why it's a lot of fun for me. And once the movie gets going, it's really fast-paced, it never stops, and it's just killing zombies and just going in a survival situation, but also being comedic. And the comedic elements of this movie do not take away from the horror element of the film, and that's also a thing that I like about it, is that horror and comedy, they can work really well, but it doesn't always work out, because most movies don't always portray it very well. And sometimes the comedy outweighs the horror, and the horror is no longer effective because the comedy is all you're thinking about. But in this movie, they're pretty well balanced. Neither one of them like outweighs each other, and when I think about this movie, I think about both the comedy and the horror, not just one of them. Because if I was just thinking about one, then this movie technically it only succeeded at half of what it was going for. And that would seriously hurt my experience, but fortunately both of them work, and I did find it kind of funny when this movie was kind of like pointed out like tropey things that you could find in zombie movies, and it was pretty funny. And I'm not going to say what those things are, but it's pretty clear as to what he's going for. So I'm just going to leave those as a secret. And that's about all I have to say about Shaun of the Dead, without spoiling anything, obviously. It's much better than when I first watched it, and I enjoyed what it was going for a lot more, and I feel as though if I were to watch it multiple times, it would get better and better for me. Maybe even become my favorite out of this trilogy, but for now, this is a much improved version of what I saw the first time, even though it's the same movie. I liked it a lot more, and I appreciated what it was going for, and it's a lot of fun for me. And originally, my rating for this movie was a 6 out of 10, but this time I enjoyed it a lot more. So, with that being said, I'm going to give Shaun of the Dead a 7 out of 10. Thank you for watching my videos as always. If you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below what you love Shaun of the Dead, and my social media links. They will all be in the description, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll see you when I get my next review up, and that is going to be for Under Siege. So look forward to that, but until I get that up, thank you for watching and have a great day.